50, 45. There goes Davis.
Oh, my God.
Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Oh, welcome in everybody to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager, episode 333. Today is November 15th, 2023. As always, I'm your host, D-Rock, and joining me, as always, is our NBA guru, my partner in crime, Elvis Acosta. E, how you doing today, kid?
Still, I'm doing great. You know, I want to wish a happy birthday to my nephew, my godson, Messiah. Shout out you, little homie. I hope, many more to come. And, I'm going to see him in a little bit, Dill, after this.
Attaboy. Happy birthday. How old is he?
He's terrible twos, Dill. We got a problem on our hands, but it's a blessing.
Is he a crier?
Nah, he a G. He a thug, man. I'm just glad. I'm glad he's not a cryberry. The only time he cries is like when he's touching something he's not supposed to, and I'll be like, "Stop touching that," and then he'll cry just because he wants to play with it. But 30 seconds later, he's chilling.
Shout out him, man. Happy birthday. Those were the good old days too. Not a care in the world, no bills to pay, but. Yeah, now it's the tough times. But E, happy birthday. We got a big show for everyone today. We'll recap Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football as well. We got our power rankings through week 10. Thursday Night Football, I'll be in attendance at the Bengals at Ravens. Can't wait. Should be a really good game tomorrow night. And we'll end with some NBA action, and I got a few college plays as well. But Elvis, before we get into recapping Sunday night and Monday night, we got to talk a little NBA. I want to talk about it. Before we talk about Draymond and, he put in like a Charles Oliveira standing RNC, like a rear naked choke was deep. But my thing is, what's wrong with the Clippers? We're going to continue to have this talk until they win a game with James Harden. He said after the game, quote, they're going to be scary when they figure it out. But when are they going to figure it out?
Dill, realistically, I feel like this was their best game together. Realistically, Dill.
But still an L.
Yeah, it's still an L, but Dill,
I'm sorry to interrupt, but they couldn't beat the Nuggets without Jamal Murray.
Yeah, I understand, but that's still a very good team, though. That's still top. I'm gonna still give them a top 5 seed, even without Jamal Murray. We saw it. Joker do it 2 years ago, when the Warriors end up winning the title. He was the 5th seed with no Murray all season. So, they're still a very good team, Dill. To be honest, I like what I saw. I'm not gonna blame the loss on James Harden and the meshing, Dill. To be honest, I caught the game a little late. It was a little past my bedtime, but Dill. Why wasn't Big Zoo in the game down the stretch?
He's a liability.
No, Dill. What you mean? You had Paul George.
He was the only one doing anything. Paul George was the only offense yesterday.
Dill. Why is Paul George, Kawhi Leonard switching on Zubac the last 4 minutes of the game? Why is Zubac not in the game? He should be in the game defending them. This is why I'm explaining to you. This is why the Denver Nuggets won the game. He had a mismatch for the last 5 minutes of the game. If Zubac is in there to be a little more destructive, the 76ers, the Clippers walk out of this game with a victory, Bill. I'm telling you right now, last 5 minutes of the game, they were up. They blew the lead just because Zubac wasn't in the game and the Jokic got offensive rebounds. He'll get the ball, he'll post down Kawhi, post down George, hand it off right to Aaron Gordon, dunk. That's the only thing that happened. He either scored or assisted for the final 4 minutes of the game, though. That simply cannot happen. So that's the main reason why they lost. Like I said, I think this was their best game together. Paul George had himself a great night. I just feel like if Zubac is in that last stretch of the game, they possibly walk out with a victory, Dill. But you still got to give them more time, Dill. I understand they lost 4, 5 straight since the trade or whatever, but I must say give it to Christmas time, Dill. I wouldn't say they're going to be.
Christmas is crazy.
Nah, what you mean? It's a month from the trade, about a month and 2 weeks.
Yeah, but by the when we get to around Christmas, we kind of know who's going to be in the playoffs and who isn't. And if it takes them another month to get it going,
All they
it's
gotta
not
do,
looking good.
all they gotta do is make the play in, though. They could be a 9th seed, 8th seed. They'll be good. Look at the Lakers last season. They were the 9th seed, 8th seed, and made it to the Western Conference Finals.
I know it's early, but they're 5.5 out of the play-in right now. They're sitting at the 12th seed right now. They're 0-6 on the road. They can't win. They've lost 6 in a row, and they're slipping very fast. They're tied with the Portland Trailblazers. Like, that's bad. With all the talent they have, they shouldn't. And yeah, I could agree with, like, this, I guess, was the best game they played together, but they still lost. And my counter argument, not even an argument, it's just regardless if they had Paul George or Kawhi on the Joker, none of them could guard him. So even if you had Jokic, or if you had Zubac on him, it still was going to end in the same result. He can't guard the Joker. So I guess he could be a little more destructive, but he still was going to get his, whether it was you pass it off to Aaron Gordon or not, he was going to make it. James Harden, -3 from the floor. Yeah, he had 21 points, but only 4 assists. He had 2 boards. He shot a lot of threes and didn't make any. So I don't know. I thought the best game obviously was Paul George. He shot 50% from the field. He shot 37% from 3. He got rebounds. He dropped 35. He kind of kept him in the game for as long as he could. Kawhi didn't have that big of a game. 5 for 14 shooting. So I don't know. This team has some growing pains to do. I'll tell you that. But yeah. And then the Timberwolves, best defensive rating team. They've won 6, 7 in a row right now. How many did they win? Minnesota Timberwolves. They won 7 in a row. They are sitting at 8-2, 1 game behind the Nuggets for the number 1 seed. First, before we talk about the antics, what are your thoughts on this Wolves team? I mean, they defensively, Jaden McDaniels, they got Karl Anthony Towns. He had a huge game. Anthony Edwards is going to be a star. They got a lot of pieces on this team.
This team is solid. We knew what they were capable of doing even last season. It's just, can they put it together? And then we seeing, I said it during our futures, NBA futures. I was like, I like this team. I think Anthony Edwards take that next step. If he takes that next step, this Timberwolves team can be elite, can be in that conversation. We see it right now. Start the first 10 games of the season, they're 8-2. Dill, I understand they were a Steph Curry-less Warriors, but they still snuck out that win on the road. It was a tight one. So, I understand the elephant in the room, Dill, is the scuffle.
Do you believe Rudy Gobert when he says Draymond usually does this stuff when Steph doesn't play? Because I don't.
I to be honest, I gotta really look at games Steph didn't play and how many times he was ejected during those games. But I highly doubt it's more than like 10%. Let's just be real. So I'll take nothing from that. Dill. The only thing I can honestly say is, I know the people want to bash Draymond, media or whatever, but this one time I'm gonna defend him. I don't think he was wrong in this situation. We already know Draymond's the enforcer of the team. We already know if something happened, he's gonna pop off. If the damn, water guy drops water, Draymond will be like, "What are you doing?" So we know Draymond's gonna pop off. And what Draymond saw was Clay get into it, and then Rudy Gobert put his hands around Clay. That's what he saw, and that's what we all saw, and that's why Draymond reacted that way, Dill. So I'm not gonna bash Draymond. He might get he will get suspended. He will get fined. Dill, do you know Draymond Green has paid over $1.5 million to the NBA in fines?
Doesn't surprise me.
No, but that's crazy. Like 1.5, I understand maybe $250,000, maybe $500,000, but 1.5? That's wild. So maybe the NBA comes down hard on him, Dill, but I'm not gonna blame him for yesterday. At least. Yeah.
Shout out Michigan State. I thought he did the right thing, to be honest, and I thought Steve Kerr said it best. At the end of the day, what Draymond saw was Rudy Gobert put his hands on Clay. And first of all, I don't understand why Jaden McDaniels, who is he, Mr. Tough Guy now? First of all, Jaden McDaniels is not like that. one. And two, why is he when the play is not even on offense for them? Why is he grabbing and holding on to Clay? And then when Clay pushes him off, you rip his jersey? Like that. I'm not calling him out, but that's a bitch move.
Now,
That's
I must just say this. It was too much intensity for a 0-0 ball game. That's all I'm going to say.
It's a minute into the ball game.
It wasn't even a minute in. It was a 0-0. A brick happens, and these dudes are just grabbing each other. I don't even know what happened. I guess they were just like...
Nah, Jalen McDaniel, let's be honest. He's trying to be a tough guy, and he's not a tough guy. He's not like that.
They were just hand fighting. I'm not saying he is.
Nah, he held on to his jersey for no reason. Clay put a hand out and he grabbed his hand. He was like a 2-on-1 wrestling. He grabbed his wrist and then grabbed his jersey and was yanking on it. Man. You're not like that. Because I'm being dead. I couldn't be more dead serious right now. Like if he was outside, he's not doing that. And we all know he's not. So I don't understand. And then I also, first of all, Karl Anthony Towns is a little soft.
Yeah.
Because
just a little.
Because when Draymond did that and put the RNC, the standing RNC into him, why did Karl Anthony Towns just look at him? Like, if that was like, if someone RNC'd you or put you in a choke, or shout out Joey in the chat, if someone's RNCing Joey, you have to hit him. Like I'm sorry, but you have to. You're soft, Karl Anthony Towns.
I'm not gonna call. Well, I'm not gonna say the man is soft. All I'm gonna say is McDaniel's not like that, and Karl Anthony Towns is certainly not like that.
But at least he's not gonna take the fine. Karl Anthony Towns wasn't like that.
He's not gonna take the suspension over a scuffle that he wasn't even involved in. He wasn't.
At least we knew.
Yeah, he had nothing to do with that. Rudy, he had nothing to do with it. He put his hands on Clay. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Cat was just trying to like, yo, y'all gotta chill.
He was trying to diffuse the situation. He's like that good.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, though. There's nothing wrong with that. I understand you want him to, bang out and whatnot, but Dill, you can't have this happen.
Just be a man.
And
just be a man.
Dill, it was 0-0.
I feel you, but if someone touches your players, what did Draymond do? He said, "Nah, I'm gonna defend Clay. Clay's my man." Karl Anthony Towns isn't like that. He's from Jersey in that Catholic school mentality where it's like, "Oh no, let's diffuse the situation." Nah, you're choking my man out. I gotta punch you.
Dill, I just want to know.
Or am I crazy?
You're not crazy.
Let me know. Like,
you might be a little wrong. You're just not crazy. All I'm saying is, what was in the Gatorade for dudes to start banging out the first minute of the game? That's what I want to know.
Banged it out. That's the thing. They're all soft.
Nah, McDaniel
besides
swung.
Draymond Green, who swung?
McDaniel swung. He threw a hook. He didn't connect, but he threw it at the end. He didn't connect, but he threw it.
And it was the best when they diffused them. Clay was looking at him, jawing at him, and McDaniel, he wasn't doing nothing either. Like,
bro, because at the end of the day, at the NBA,
soft. Like Draymond's from Flint, Michigan. He'll really bang it out.
Yeah,
these other people won't. They from Calabasas, bro.
They didn't grow up how we grew up. Like, they didn't grow up in the era like Steven Jackson. And then, they get hit real quick. Even when Kobe, we saw Kobe get punched in his throat.
Yeah.
I seen it. And, so.
Because they were about it. Today, they're soft. It's too much AAU and buddy here and there.
Your mom knows my mom from, 2016.
Fuck that, bro. Like, if someone RNCs any of my boys, it's on site. Like, I'm sorry. Maybe that's too ghetto for me, but, like, we got to fight. Like, that's it. I don't know. The UFC's coming out of me.
Not on the NBA court. Though.
I get it. Fines will be displayed, but
imagine,
I had to ask
just real
you
quick.
about that.
Imagine if something not like Madness in the Palace, but something close. Still, it's a wrap. They might not even continue the game.
Sometimes it needs to happen. No. It's like when two friends that have so much animosity and passive aggressiveness, sometimes they need to bang it out and they got respect towards one another after that, right?
Yeah, they could do that in the tunnel, They'll not on the court on live TV.
Why?
It's not good.
We want to see it. Exactly.
It's not good for
It's
business.
not good for business. But besides that, I wanted honestly the slow-mos and the pictures got it. Like Draymond really locked in the RNC.
All the
best.
memes we're gonna see for the like. I saw something. It was like Draymond Green highlights, and they were just all him of just kicking people,
Good.
punching
Good.
Jordan
I
Poole.
support that. I support that. Anyway, let's talk about football. Well, I guess we'll start Sunday night. Raiders take care of the Jets 16-12 at home. Shout out fucking Greg the Leg. You got to pick him up because that's all we do is just get down there to the red zone and we stall out self-inflicted penalties, whether it's a holding call, whether it's a false start, whatever the fucking case is, whether you step out of balance. Just if you're in fantasy, pick up Greg the Leg. He's a beast. I'll say this, E. It wasn't the prettiest game from either team. I thought Zach Wilson actually played pretty good, 23 for 39. Besides that interception late where he was kind of forcing the ball, I thought the decision-making was pretty good. I didn't like play calling, but I thought decision-making was actually better for Zach Wilson. He ran the ball. He extended the play when he needed to. He led the fucking team in rushing yards. I don't think I've ever seen that in a while. 4 carries for 54 yards. Not going to harp on and stepping out of bounds too much, but I thought he got Garrett Wilson involved very early. Tyler Conklin, he's actually stepped up and played well. So those were the 2 bright spots. Defense was spectacular. I guess the only problem I have is the penalties. Bad coaching always. We can never come out and score points. Never. I don't understand how this team every fucking game for 9 games, they're 4-5 right now for 9 games. I don't understand how they could come in unprepared every single first quarter. It takes them like a quarter to wake up and be like, oh shit, we're in a football game. Like, no, they need to come out prepared because I guarantee you the record wouldn't be what it is if they actually come out and play. And you're seeing the growing frustration with the defense. They feel like there's no margin of error when they're on the field. And I feel bad for them because that's not how you're supposed to play football. But I thought it was a good game from Zach Wilson. I'm not going to harp on him. He did take 2 sacks. He was using his feet a little more than we've grown accustomed to seeing, but I actually thought Dalvin Cook ran the ball pretty well as well. I don't know why they went away from the run game, but I didn't take too much. I guess the worst thing is cut CJ Uzmanzada. This man is a bum. Honestly, I don't know what he actually does. What does he do? He doesn't do anything good. He dropped the touchdown that hit his chest last week. He takes away a Breece Hall touchdown that could have won us the game. He doesn't do anything. He can't block. He got 2 holding calls on Max Crosby, and I'm not saying Max Crosby is easy to block, but at least contain the fucking guy. You don't do anything well. Cut him. They cut Michael Carter the other day, so you're probably going to see a little reurgence from the rookie Izzy. But other than that, I don't think that was the problem at all. I just feel sickening because this is another game where the Jets should have won the game, but offense stalls out per usual. So, what are your thoughts here?
Still, I think Zach Wilson played his best game this season thus far, to be honest.
Besides the Chief and the Eagle game, I agree.
Yeah, best game as a loss. This is definitely the game where you can't just be like, yeah, it was Zach Wilson's fault. No, it wasn't.
At all. You can't blame him.
It wasn't his. I'm going to give most of the blame on coaching
Nathaniel
staff.
Hackett.
Nathaniel Hackett mostly, and then a little bit of Robert Saleh as well for not overriding him and be like, yo, bro, you got to run the ball a little more. We understand Breece Hall wasn't going nowhere far with it, but Dalvin Cook ran the ball pretty good. He only had 4 attempts. Still, he got 26 yards in those 4 attempts. Maybe you would give him 10 instead of Breece Hall those touches. Maybe you get a little something going in the running game still. Yeah. Like you said, the fact that Zach Wilson has the equal amount of yards as Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall, that's not just a problem. That's a huge problem. So Dill, like you said, I'm not going to keep adding on. I think you broke it down perfectly, Dill. I just feel like you did enough to win the game, and it wasn't Zach Wilson's fault. And real quick, I think Antonio Pierce is turning around life.
Shout out him. Happy for him.
in Las Vegas. You know, they did it with O'Connell. Dill, at the end of your defense, like you said, I'm not gonna say it was perfect, but it played pretty damn well. They played great. They played good enough to win the game. But Josh Jacobs had himself a day, Dill. 27 carries, a buck 16.
Yeah.
I know the average per attempt's not gonna kill you, Dill, but it did the job. He had that big one, set it, and then O'Connell. He had the horrible interception, Dill. But Dill, that touchdown throw to that tight end, I think Mayers,
Yeah.
he's a rookie as well. Good to know. He put it where only his guy could get it, and that's what he appreciated. He didn't put it in harm's way. If anybody was gonna come down with it, was his guy. So give credit. I think Antonio Pierce had the guys weren't going, especially on defensive side of the ball. They knew, like you said, their Jets defense don't got no margin for error. Raiders knew coming into this game they had no margin for error, and I think they played great. Even though Zach Wilson had a great day passing. It's a shame that the running game wasn't there to back him up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I think that's the one thing, the hole in the Jets defense, teams can run the ball. We've seen it already where teams have been able to run the ball on us. I don't think up front we're good. We get a lot of pressure, but I think we get a little too much pressure where we overextend our guys, and it's perfect for a draw. Like, that's how they hit us. Josh Jacobs had a phenomenal game. Yeah, he only averaged 4.3 carries, but 27 carries for 116 yards. It took the toll every time on us. So, yeah, I thought it was good. Michael Meyer is the guy, not the killer, but yeah, Michael Meyer is the guy who had the touchdown. But you got to win that game. When you get 2 turnovers, you get the fumble, and you also get the interception early in the game. I understand. Like you, for example, we watch so much football together. You say, just take the points. And I agree to a certain extent. But when this team hasn't scored a touchdown in 2 primetime games, eventually you're going to have to go for it. You got to get 6 eventually, because it's going to come down to a close game like we just saw, and they're going to wind up losing those games. So I understand taking 3 and 3, but eventually you're going to have to go for it. You need 6, and you got to punch it in. Right now they're ranked 23rd on my power rankings. They can't be a top 20 team if you haven't scored a touchdown in 2 weeks. That just can't happen. I don't care how good Zach Wilson or Garrett Wilson is. If you can't score a fucking touchdown, you don't deserve to be in the top 20, let alone the top 15. I don't care how good the defense is. The defense could be phenomenal. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I had to get that out there. But yeah, and surprisingly, Raiders 5-5. You said it. Shout out Antonio Pierce, man, giant legend. Got the boys playing. He seems like he resonates with the locker room, and you could tell that they're playing harder for him than they did your boy. So, yeah, 5-5. They're just 2 wins away from going over their win total. Who would have thought? We had Danielle Avari on. We all had them going under, but Antonio Pierce has the boys playing. They definitely have an opportunity in the AFC East, right? Or in the AFC in general right now. And by the way, I hate this graphic. You know, when you got like the leaders and then you got the wild card. I hate in the hunt. I hate it because it always gives you that false hope. Like, I'm so used to the Jets being out of it by now, where I'm like, I'm on tankathon.com. Oh, we got the 6th pick.
And you're the last one in the hunt.
Of course. So it's like they're baiting us. Oh, you know, if we go up into Orchard Park.
If Aaron Rodgers just happened to come back a week sooner, you know, you gotta sell dreams. You gotta.
Speaking of the Bills, tough loss at home to the Broncos. Let's ride. Hey, Russell Wilson got the boys playing. I thought Russ played really good. 24 for 29. He only completed 5 passes. He had 2 tutties, 1 to Cortland Sutton, and he had 1 to Javonte Williams. I thought they ran the ball collectively, not just Javonte. Russ had a few yards. Samaje Perine had some yards as well, but their defense, they turned the ball over twice. They fumbled the ball. Before we talk about the Bills and their problem, big win for the Denver Broncos. They're trying to turn things around here now.
Dill, last 3 games, top 5 defense rating. That's what I'm going to say. They getting it together, Dill. This was one thing. I'm not going to get too ahead of myself or for the Broncos to get anybody hyped, Dill. But what I saw Russell Wilson do, Dill, I understand it's not it wasn't a great flat out performance by him, Dill. But when I saw that man go left, go right, throw it off his back foot, and throw an absolute dime only where Cortland Sutton could get it, Dill. That rush,
That was the best ball of the year. It
Dill,
had to have been.
That version of Russell Wilson is the guy that we used to say, let Russ cook.
Yeah.
The numbers don't say it, people. The 24 for 29 say it, but Russ was cooking. I'm gonna just play his people. He went into Orchard Park on a Monday night as a 7.5-point dog and walked out of there with a victory. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty, but he outplayed Josh Allen. Not by an inch, not by a foot, but by a mile.
Yeah. And not even like they weren't. Yeah, James Cook he had a pretty good game, but passing, I guess we could switch over now to the Bills. They do fire Ken Dorsey, and granted, I do think it was the right decision. Elvis, I'll tell you this: what I told you on the phone. I think he's not the only one that needs to go. If I'm being honest, but Josh Allen, man, as good as he is in the arm talent and the explosiveness with his legs and what he could do on the football field, I'm not denying that Josh Allen is one of the most talented quarterbacks I've ever seen, but he's a problem. He turns the ball over way too much. And I guess I would define it in one word: reckless. He's just reckless with the ball. Sometimes those balls don't need to be thrown. And you're like, oh, I'm just going to throw. It reminds me of old Zach Wilson, where he would kind of just throw it on the outskirts. And in the NFL, he would get in college, he would get away with it in Wyoming, in BYU. But in the NFL, you're not going to do this again, especially against that secondary, whose last 3 weeks, top 5 defense. They got something to prove. And he's just reckless with the ball. 2 interceptions again, 177 yards. He had a QBR of 27. That's just pitiful. You're not going to win games like that. You saw Trayvon Diggs come out and say, free his brother. I mean, I don't really know what to make of it. They owe Josh Allen a lot of money. They just paid him. I don't know what you do with this team, because on paper, they're a much better team than a 5-5 team. Let's be honest. Like Buffalo Bills, I don't know. We could stop saying they're Super Bowl contenders, though. I think we're done with that conversation. There's just too many holes offensively, even defensively at this point. All the injuries, I think they're done. I honestly do. Like, yeah, they could be a good team and maybe sneak into the playoffs with talent, but they're not going to make it, kid. They just has too many holes, and I just don't trust Josh Allen right now.
Josh Allen leads the NFL in interceptions, leads the NFL in turnovers. Since he came in since 2018, he leads the NFL in interceptions. Still, I understand people are going to be like, Josh Allen playing well enough to win this game. If the 12th man wasn't on the field, they would have won. People, if James Cook and Latavius Murray don't run the ball like they do in the fourth quarter, this game is over. This game is... People, do y'all not understand Josh Allen didn't have a pass attempt when they took the lead? They ran the ball, I think, 12 straight times.
They don't trust him.
The coaching staff, they fired Dorsey with 7 minutes left in the fourth because Josh Allen did not throw a ball with the last 5 minutes of the game. So I want to give the Renegade credit. They're 192 on the ground. They did their part, you know. Yeah. The offensive line did their part. Still, Josh Allen to close the first half. You cannot throw that ball. Throw it out of bounds. Throw it somewhere else. Don't try to force it and give the Broncos, out of all teams, a short field who also gets the ball to start the second half. You gotta have that in your back of your mind. Let me be smart with the ball. Let me not force anything and give them good field position before half, with knowing they have 2 timeouts and they also get second half kickoff. That's just bad play. If you don't throw that interception, you win the game. Simply, the second one, okay, throw the second one, the tip pass one away. But if you don't throw that interception before halftime and give them an extra 3 points to close the half, you win this game. So this comes down to Josh Allen solely. I think the defense, yes, they got to, like you said, they're missing Tre'Davious White, they're missing Milano, but that defense played well enough to win the game.
want to ask you a few questions. One, is it fair to say Josh Allen is a mid quarterback?
Dude, I'm gonna say is that we had this conversation. I told you, he's not a top 5 quarterback. You was like, I'm
I
crazy.
don't even know if he's a top 10.
No, but Dill, last year you thought he was. Now you came around. But I was telling you this before last season, and you was like, nah, I'm crazy. I'm like, cuz I'm telling you, Joe Burrow is better than this guy. Like stuff like that. I just feel Josh Allen, he's a top 10 quarterback, Dill. He's a top 5 talent. The talent's not the issue, it's the inconsistency. We've seen this man. He could do it with his arms, he could do it with his legs, but with all that talent and all that, great throws and whatnot, he still leads the NFL interceptions for this season. He still leads their interceptions in NFL since 2018. Those are just the facts, people. The talent, the arm, the legs, amazing. It's one of the best, generational talents we've seen in a long time. But the inconsistency, though, you said that he reminds you of a young Zach Wilson from 2 years ago. He reminds me of a late 90s, early 2000s Brett Favre. He's just slinging
Great
it.
Comparison. Great
he's
comparison.
He's just slinging it. He throws the ball 100 miles per hour. We saw why they keep dropping the ball. Still, he fucking slings it. So I think he got a little too much heat on the ball. He gotta be. You gotta know when to he could lob it, not lob it, but you gotta have some finesse into it. We see Patty Mahomes, we see Aaron Rodgers. They have Russell Wilson with that ball. That's touch. People, Russell Wilson is not better quarterback than Josh Allen, but he could play at times better because you know why? Russell Wilson did. What was the stat line? 2 touchdowns, no interception. The difference was Josh Allen turned the ball over and Russell Wilson did it. That was the difference, though.
Now, Ken Dorsey got fired the morning of, and the offense has struggled. And like I said, I agree with it, but I also don't think it's just on Ken Dorsey, if I'm being honest. One, do you agree with the firing? And two, when do we see Sean McDermott go? Because I think he needs to go too. I think he's an average coach. Let's be honest.
After this season, though, I think he's been there for five years. I think
they can't get over the hump. That was the main question we were talking with CT about earlier in the off season. It happens every year. Everyone talks about the Bills. This is their year. This is their year. Bills are an acronym. You know what it stands for, right? We all know.
What?
No, you don't know. It's I think it's we always lose Super Bowls or something like that. I'll look it up. But what do you why do you think he's going to get fired?
Though I think this is definitely his last season. He basically peaked in that AFC Championship game. He's just been division title and done. Division title and done. Division title is done. And I think the ownership and fan base are like, you know what, kid? You've done a great job. You took us over the hump, but we're just stuck on the hump now. We're trying to get that next level, that Super Bowl level. We saw, it's been hosted by the Chiefs for 5 straight seasons. Somebody got to change that, though. And I think McDermott might not be the guy to change that, deal. Maybe they got to shop around. Maybe you got to change side. But, Dill, I definitely think if, soon as one coordinator goes, guess what, Dill? Who gave the coordinator the job? McDermott. So it's only a matter of time, Dill. If they don't make, I'm going to say this. If they don't make it to at least the AFC Championship game.
He's gone.
Bare minimum AFC Championship game.
I found out the acronym. Bills stand for Boy, I Love Losing Super Bowls. Because they
can't make it. In my lifetime, I never saw them make it.
I never saw them, but in our parents, they
saw 3 in a row. Yeah, Joe Kelly.
But 5-5, and surprisingly enough, the Jets have an opportunity to make up some ground this week. Hey, I know I'm a little delusional, but let me live. I think we have a chance this week. And Zach Wilson undefeated against Josh Allen. I'm just putting it out there. Elvis, by the way, how did you do Monday night with our record? Because I went 1-0 with my player prop. Officially for week 10 in the NFL. Let me get it right in front of me real quick. Yeah, week 10. I was 9-1, up 6.7 units. The only one I got wrong, fucking Bryce Young. But other than that, we had an amazing week.
Till I came back, ended up going 2-0 on Monday night, hit on Sunday night the Raiders money line. We ended up the week not in the green, but 7-8. So we're I came back. I also
Yeah,
want
it
to
was
say
much better than you were because we recorded Sunday during Sunday Night Football, and you were like, cuz it's not looking good.
I should have went 8-7. Kamara went under
That
by
half a
half a
yard.
yard. You know what's crazy? I put it in on one of the
Yeah.
sports books. It was at 32.5.
Oh, that's a dagger, but
I could show you the proof. So
you got to get the receipts, gambling
Yeah.
Twitter, gambling X, they'll get you. Be like, "Oh, you don't have it." But yeah, no, as long as you have it. Let's go into our power rankings. Through 10 weeks, we're a little over a quarter. We're probably halfway. No, we're not a quarter. We're halfway through the season. It's flying by. Week 11 is upon us tomorrow. Ravens, Bengals. But I will let you lead it off. Who is your number one team through 10 weeks?
Still, got to keep them in the number one. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles. I think it's going to be a great matchup this week coming up, but couldn't move them. They had a bye week. The only thing concerning to me is the Dallas Goedert health. As of right now, he's listed as doubtful for the Monday night matchup. I feel like, without him, this team might miss him a little bit, but it won't hurt that much. I just feel like with him in the lineup, they're just a little better offensively.
Elvis, can we get breaking news music, please?
Nah. Damn, that's not good. Da-da-da. Da-da-da.
Going back into the NBA, Glenn Big Baby Davis has been found guilty of multiple charges, including healthcare fraud, wire fraud, and conspiracy to commit false statements, healthcare fraud, and wire fraud.
He ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing
Free Big Baby Glenn.
Glenn Big Baby Davis did not do nothing. Still,
that's crazy.
Still, but he ain't do nothing. He ain't do nothing.
Allegedly.
Still, between me and you, yeah. But he ain't do nothing.
Yo, for me, number one, I agree. Eagles, you can't really move them. They're coming off a bye. They're getting healthy. I do still worry about Jalen Hurts a little bit, his knee or his ankle, his lower body. But yeah, Dallas Goedert, he's hurting a little bit, but I think this defense is playing phenomenal right now. And I said it a few weeks ago. I think this is the most complete team. And I'll just go into number two because this is probably the game of the week. Chiefs versus the Eagles. I got the Chiefs at 2 as well. Can't move them. They're on a bye as well. This is for bragging rights. I think this is for the best team in the NFL right now. The Kelsey brothers are going at it. I think Andy Reid, and Patrick Mahomes coming off a bye, one of the hardest teams to beat. I think they're going to be prepared for this game. Should be a really good game, but couldn't move either team. Chiefs at number 2 for me.
Same. Give me the Chiefs at number 2. Dale couldn't. Well, I moved them up. I had a different team at number 2 last week. I had to move up the Kansas City Chiefs. After my number 2 team lost, so I moved the Chiefs up. Give me the Chiefs at number 2.
At number 3, moving them all the way back up. Give me the 49ers. The most dominant win of the weekend. When this team is healthy, they are one of the hardest teams to beat. Debo back. You got Trent Williams back. You got Brock Purdy. You got fucking Kyle Shanahan. All these players, man. I just think that this team is one of the most complete teams. I think defense, the way they took away Trevor Lawrence and all of his options, Kyle Shanahan outcoached Dougie P by 1,000,000, and Brock Purdy looks good again. So hopefully the cobwebs are all good up there. But yeah, dominant win. I gotta put them right where they belong. Give me the 49ers at 3.
Still at number 3, I'm not gonna overreact over just a bad closing quarter. I still think this team is one of the best teams in the NFL. I'm not going to overreact. Give me the Baltimore Ravens at number 3. I understand Lamar, had a horrible closing quarter. Give credit to Deshaun, had himself a day. Damn, sucks that Deshaun went down. Season-ending shoulder surgery, by the way. But still, I think the Baltimore Ravens are right there. I just feel like, remember, they had 2 14-point leads at different times in this game. They just couldn't, close it out. It's all right. Give me the Baltimore Ravens at number 3.
Joe, that's amazing. Joe comments in the chat, Ravens are so good. John Harbaugh is going to guest coach for his brother at Michigan come Saturday. That's great. For number 4 for me, give me the Detroit Lions, the brand new Lions. Big win for them. I thought it was a shootout against the Chargers. I thought Jared Goff went toe-to-toe with a very impressive Justin Herbert. Impressive win on the road. Defense has to pick it up a little, but I think this is a very well-coached team. I think the offense is flowing. Give me the Lions at 4. I love the win.
Still saying, give me the Lions at number 4. Dale, I like the fact that they were able to win a shootout, and the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery both were explosive. That, to me, that's great. Amon St. Brown had himself a great game, over 100 yards. I think he has 5 straight games over 100 yards, though. That's incredible. And then, like you said, the only thing that worries me, the defense, that's been the talk of the town all year, that their defense has been playing much better this season. But on Sunday, the defense was the only thing that was concerning to me, especially in the second half. They couldn't get off the field. Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, what they were able to do was special. But I'm going to take the Lions at number 4, Dill. I think the defense will perform much better. It's just Josh Allen. I think Justin Herbert was just on fire that day.
Joey in the chat saying, I got a hot take. Right now, Texans are top 5. I'll say this, Joe. CJ Stroud's playing like a top 5 quarterback. I'll say that. He's not playing like a rookie. We'll break the fourth wall down real quick. Texans, I put them at 13. They're getting close to my top 10. Yeah,
I'm shocked.
They're getting up there.
They're almost. I got them higher than you. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, that's interesting. I want to hear that. For number 5, give me the Ravens. Yeah, tough loss. I had to drop them a little. Yeah, I dropped them a little. I still think they're a top 5 team. Got to work out on closing games because they lose a lot of games that they're up on. They kind of take their foot off of the gas pedal a little bit, which is concerning. Like, there are a lot of games. Hold up. I got to get the thing. So, obviously, they were up 31-17 with 8 minutes left against the Browns, lost that game. They were up 10-0 against Pittsburgh. They wind up losing that game. Last year, they were up 19-10 against Jacksonville. They lose that game with 5 minutes left. They're up 20-10 against the Giants with 6 minutes left in the fourth. They lose that game. They're up 20-3.
Daniel Jones. Whoa.
Yeah. They're up 20-3 in the third quarter. They lose that game to Buffalo. They're up 35-14 against Miami in the beginning of the season last year.
I remember
with
that
11
one.
minutes left, and they lose that game. There's a lot of these games where they need to close the games out, but I still trust John Harbaugh. He's one of the best coaches in the league. I trust Lamar. Got to take care of the ball a little better, but I think this is a good bounce back spot for them. I like them tomorrow. We'll touch on that, but yeah, I still think they're a top 5 team, and the defense is flying.
Facts still. At number 5, Dill, give me the San Francisco 49ers. Had to move them all the way up back to a top 5 team. Like you said, Dill, it was the most dominating performance by far this weekend. You know, I just like the fact that the defense dominated. It made, Trevor Lawrence look very uncomfortable. I saw a thing on our IG that said they don't know what they're doing, and then one of the players said, "You're right, we don't know what they're doing." That offense was in shambles, and it was surprised that how Dougie P offense unfolded like that. It was shocking. So, got to give credit to that defense. Christian McCaffrey didn't get the touchdown, but it didn't matter. They'll give me the 49ers at 5.
Yeah, at number 6 for me, give me the Miami Dolphins. They're another team on a bye. We'll see how things work out, but, they're getting healthy, and I think their defense is playing much better. We saw them in London, or in Germany, excuse me. They played a good second half against a good Chiefs offense, so I like them. I trust their offense. I think Tyreek Hill, one of the best in the league. And what do you think about Tua getting cornrows? I like it. I think it's a good look.
I think, the bye week, he was definitely some type of...
He was bored.
He was in Miami with the wrong people. That's all I'm going to say.
I'll say this. City boys are up right now. So give me the Miami Dolphins at number 6.
They're at number 6. I had to move them up just one spot, but I had to move them up. How about the Cowboys? That was Dill.
It's the Giants.
Dale, it's not just the Giants. There was Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb taking it up just a notch. Could we not agree? Can we agree at least that Dak Prescott has been playing at a great level these past few
I'll
weeks?
say
That's
this,
all.
E. I'll say Dak Prescott has been playing better. Yes, I think CeeDee Lamb is a top 5 receiver in the league.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
The Giants.
No,
it's
Dill, but we saw them do the same numbers against the Eagles. They lost the game.
That's true.
Dak threw for 384 tutties.
I gotta see it a little more.
Dill, all I'm saying is that defense is playing great. I understand it's the Giants still, but if they would have just beat the Giants by 10, they would have never got moved up because they beat them. They beat them by 72 points in 2 games. Mm-hmm. That's impressive. You got to give them credit. It's when you beat a bad team, you're supposed to blow them out, and what they did, they blew them out. So they'll got to give them credit. Give me the Cowboys at number 6. Dak Prescott looks like he's taking the next step. I'm not gonna give him it yet, but he's on its way.
Yeah, I got Cowboys at 7. I'll say this, good win. But like I said, it was against the Giants. They played well against the Eagles. He's been playing better.
He's been playing good.
I got to see it a little more. Call me negative Nancy, whatever you want to do, but I can't put too much into that win. Like I said, my notes are saying it. Dak has been playing better. I give him credit. CeeDee Lamb, I've never had a doubt in CeeDee Lamb. He's him. I get that. But let's see. They have a tough schedule coming up. Let's see if they could keep it going, but they are on the right track. I'll give them credit where credit's due. Give me the Cowboys at 7.
Dill, at number 7, I did this power rankings before today. As of when I did the power rankings yesterday, I have the Browns at number 7. That's before, I'm sorry about that. That's before Deshaun Watson season-ending shoulder injury. So I still like the Browns, but they're not with PJ Walker, let's just be honest, people, they're not a top 10 team. You know, they're still defensively top 5 defense. Can they make the playoffs? Possibly. Can they make noise in the playoffs? I don't know, Dale. I like what Deshaun did, especially in that second half. I think he was 13 for 14, $130, 2 touchdowns in the game-winning game against the Ravens in the bank. I just liked how they were playing. It just sucks that, you know, as of this morning, he's out for the rest of the season. But Dill, I'm gonna keep him there for at least this week. Give me the Browns at number 7.
Yeah, at number 8, I did put the Browns. I mean, regardless of the quarterback situation right now, I got to give him credit for that comeback behind and to beat the Ravens. It was a great, and Watson was playing better. He looked like he was playing better, but he got hurt. Very unfortunate. But, you know, that defense, they're going to keep you in games. If they play like they did, they're going to keep you in most games. I can't wait till week 13 prime time, PJ Walker and Zach Wilson. I can't wait. But yeah, and also Amari Cooper has also seemed to be coming on these past few weeks, which is a good sign for the offense. So hopefully PJ could force feed Amari Cooper. But yeah, I do like this team. It sucks that Deshaun's out for the season. There goes my Super Bowl ticket. But yeah, I still got to give him credit for that win. It was a huge win against a top 5 offense and defense. So yeah, I got the Browns at 8.
Dill, at number 8, I didn't move them up because they were on a bye week. They didn't move them down. If anything, I'll put them ahead of Cleveland as of right now without Deshaun. But give me the Dolphins at number 8, Dill. I like this team. I'm not in love with them till they beat a team over 500. That's all, you know. Yeah. I love the talent. I like Tua. The running game at times, best running game in football. You know, you got Tyreek, you got Jalen Waddle. The defense is getting healthier now. They got Xavier Howard back. They got Jalen Ramsey back. So I wanted to see what this defense is capable of doing now that they got, you know, they got the bye week, they got the game plan going, they got Chubb. Hopefully, you know, they could get it going. Maybe the defense could get a little better, Dill. And hopefully Tua, if Tua plays as good in the first half, in the second half, Dill, because they've been a first half team these past 2 years. You know, last season, I think they started 7-0. Year before that, I think they started 4-1. Dill, if he could keep it up, Dill, watch out. Give me Miami at number 8.
At number 9 for me, give me the Jacksonville Jaguars. I had to drop them. It wasn't that they lost. It was how they lost. Like, they didn't just lose. They got their ass smoked. Like, you know, they got outplayed at every position. They got outcoached, like I said. I think they have weapons on offense, but Tell me not. When we're watching Jacksonville games, there's too many drives where they drive down the field and they stall out or they turn the ball over. Trevor Lawrence, he's kind of regressed this year a little bit. Not a lot, but he's regressed a little bit. I will say they turn the ball over a lot, and offensively they don't really put up too many points for all the weapons that they have. Calvin Ridley's kind of gone MIA. I like them, don't get me wrong, but they need to work on some things. They're still a top 10 team. They're lucky they're in a bad division, but give me Jacksonville at number 9.
Same, Dill, same. I'm agree with you, Dill. That it's not how they lost. It's just they got flat out embarrassed at home. If you lose in San Francisco by a couple of touchdowns, it's cool. But to lose at home off a bye week by 30, that's just unacceptable, Dill. Yeah. So, I almost put it at number 10, but I was like, no, they'll definitely beat. Well, I'm not gonna say definitely, but they should beat my number 10 team, especially most of the time. So I like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Sky's the limit. I still think they're the favorites to win the division, even though Houston is right there. But still, that was a humbling loss, and hopefully they could bounce back and learn from it.
Yeah, at number 10, barely. And when I tell you barely, I flipped them about a few times, but I'm going to keep the Bengals at 10.
Wow.
It was a bad loss, but I think Texans caught the Bengals maybe looking ahead towards tomorrow's game against the Ravens. Offense didn't play well besides that first drive where Joey just dropped a dime in there. But other than that, I just think CJ outplayed Joe Burrow for most of the game. They lit up that defense. They're hurt. They're injured on defense with Trey Henderson's down a little bit as well. You got to expect them to come out guns blazing tomorrow and, let Joe Burrow kind of sling the ball. But off talent alone, I'll keep them. But I was very close to putting the Seahawks at 10. I have them at 11.
Dill, give me the Seahawks at number 10. Yeah. Dill, I couldn't. I had the Bengals there last week. Oh, I had the Bengals top 5 last week, and I had to drop them out, Dill. That was just a bad loss at home. If they were on the road, I would have been like, maybe I keep them at number 10. But at home, as the favorite, Dill, and the fact that for 2.5 quarters, the offense was just on nothing. No points, nothing, just straight punt. So that was concerning to me. Maybe you're right. Hopefully you are right, Dill. Maybe there was just a look-ahead spot. Take game planning for Thursday night, and, they didn't take Houston that serious, but I got to take the Seahawks, though. They won. They've been playing well. Their 2 corners are playing good. I like the fact that Tyler Lockett is playing much better as of late. You know what DK Metcalf represents. Yeah, you know what DK represents. And then with the running game, and then, even though Geno Smith has regressed, he's still a top 15 quarterback. And the top 15 quarterback is going to get the job done. So give credit to Geno Smith and the boys. And they'll just real quick, I'm going to give you my 11 through 13.
Love it. Let's go.
Houston Texans at number 11, Dill. I couldn't fight it. I couldn't deny it. I had them putting them over the Bengals. Give me the Bengals at number 12 and 13, Dill. This is why I'm saying it, because I was surprised you put Houston at 13. Give me the Vikings at 13. I got Houston a little higher than them. I like the Vikings, honestly. I like what they're doing. Their defense been a top 10 defense the past 5 weeks now. Dobbs been playing well, and Justin Jefferson does come back this week. Watch out.
All right, I'll give you 11. I have the Seahawks. 12, I have the Steelers. 13, I have the Texans, and 14, I have the Vikings. So
the Steelers I ain't mad at you.
They're 6-3.
Yes,
I know. I know it's ugly football, and they really don't blow anybody away. But
I got the Bills at 14, and I don't care. I got the Steelers at 15. The Steelers are not better than
Steelers. They're better than the Bills.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
That's ridiculous. That just got me mad.
Do they play?
No, I don't think. I would have
bet you. I would have bet you. Yeah.
It's just, bro. They're 6-3. Like it doesn't even matter. You play who's in front of you. Like. They have to be above a 5-5 team. They just have to. Like, I don't know. That's just crazy to me.
They average like
that defense is ridiculous, though. It doesn't matter. They win games. Who cares? They win games. They're 6-3, and if they beat the Browns, they're 7-3 and control their own destiny. I mean, if they win, they got to be in the top 10 next week. If they beat the Browns, I don't care. PJ Walker, it doesn't matter. That defense is still that defense. That's still a top 5 defense. And if they go out there and put up 16 to 20 points and beat PJ Walker and the Browns, they're a top 10 team. They have to be. 7-3. I don't know. But I get it. It's ugly football. I know they don't really wow you offensively, but that's just not their style of football. Let's get into it. Actually, quick word before we get into Thursday Night Football. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. There's no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV, Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebrations, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We favor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing a round of golf with the boys or an elderberry tailgating for Thursday Night Football, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. I believe here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to it. Thursday Night Football. Bengals on the road taking on the Baltimore Ravens at the bank. Ravens laying 3.5 at home. On the money line, -184 for the Ravens, +154 for the Bengals. Over under is at 46. We will start with the side. Any opinion on the side? Which way you leaning?
So, I feel like both teams are going to be eager for this win. I feel like Cincinnati, with the way the division is looking, though, it might be a must-win situation for the Cincinnati Bengals. Just because, you got the Baltimore 7-3, like we just spoke, the Steelers 6-3, and the Browns 6-3. Browns might fall off, but Cincinnati can't depend on that, Dill. I do think Baltimore possibly walks out with the victory. Most likely, I think they do, just because that was an embarrassing loss. I understand Bengals lose to Texans, but up 14 with 7 minutes left in the game, and you lose that game to Deshaun in Cleveland, that's gonna leave a sour taste in their mouth. I just feel like they're gonna come out firing, hitting on all cylinders. But I'm gonna take the Bengals +4 on the road. I just feel like, it's a division game, might be nip and tuck. I'm going to say like a 21-24 game or like a 17-20 game. One of them edges it out, though, but I'll give Cincinnati a shot, but I just feel like the Baltimore Ravens are going to come out firing just because they got a little more sour taste in their mouth than Cincinnati.
Yeah, give me the Ravens in the first half, -2.5. The Baltimore Ravens, they've scored first in 13 of their last 20 games. This is a team that is the complete opposite of what the New York Jets are. Jets, they take to the second or third quarter. No, I'm so serious. The Jets, they take it to the second or third quarter to be like, oh, shit, we're in a fight. Like, let's start playing. The Ravens are so well coached, they come out prepared. What did we see against the Browns last week? We were like, oh, we could turn this off the game. Like, we thought they were going to blow them out.
It was 17-3.
The first half, they usually come out. Like I said, Bengals, they lost one of their best defensive players in Trey Hendrickson. He's out. Defensive line, no
T. Higgins.
No T. Higgins. That's going to hurt. You also have Sam Hubbard, another top defensive end. He's going to be out as well. So you're missing a lot of guys against a very run-heavy team. You know what I mean? So I think they're going to open up on them. Higgins, he's also reported out as well. Jamar Chase, he has a back problem, but they said he's good to go. He's probably going to play through it. Excuse me. I just think Baltimore is the healthier team. And it doesn't appear, that they have a lot more injuries than the Bengals do. I do expect them both to come out swinging off of those bad losses, but I don't know. Harbaugh told the media on Monday that they're eager to come back on a short week at home against a divisional rival. They usually get up for these games. The bank is going to be live tomorrow night, so I do think they'll come out with the lead 13-10, maybe 17-7 at half. I think the Ravens take care of business in the first half. So that's going to be my first official play. I'm going to take the Ravens in the first half -2.5. As for the total, it opened around 44, but took a lot of money towards the over. It's sitting at 46 right now. Both teams, they totaled at least 57 combined points last week. The Bengals gave up 544 yards to the Texans. Baltimore allowed 75 plays last week with 34 minutes of time of possession with the loss to the Browns. So I don't know. I thought the under was the play. Even talking to you before we went and recorded, I thought the under was the play. But the more I dug into it, I kind of think we could see some points, but I'm going to stay away, lean over, but I'm not going to touch the total.
Yeah, Dale, it has a chance to be a shootout. Like you said, both defense struggled last week. I don't expect, Lamar Jackson throw for, over 300 like CJ did, but, he has a chance of doing so. He's been in pocket passer more this year than he's been any other year. He's been more accurate this year than any other year. So I'll give him a shot, though. Like you said, you got their two best pass rushers. They might not be able to play tomorrow. So give him a shot to put some points in the bro. We know what Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow is capable of doing. Let's not forget Joe Mixon as well. We know what Cincinnati represents. It's just, can they put up points against that defense? That's the question, though.
As for player props, you could go a few ways. There's a lot of guys you could take advantage of. You could go quarterback market. You could go running back, maybe even wide receivers. I'll start. I'm going to go running back. Keaton Michelle, anytime touchdown, +275. He had 138 rushing yards against a very good Seattle defense, week 9. Then he followed it up last week against the Browns, and he had 64 total yards. But it seemed like his volume was a little low last week because they got outscored down the stretch, and Lamar was kind of forced to throw the ball instead of running the clock. But I do expect him to be used more on a short week. Edwards, he's the man inside the 20s, so he's probably going to get inside the 20s. But Jackson, he could run the ball as well, but Mitchell is a threat to score outside of the 20s. And he's already done it in back-to-back games with just 15 touches. He has a touchdown in 2 straight games, and I think he's actually the most explosive running back they have. So I'm going to sprinkle fire for him to find the end zone once again. +275, I couldn't get away from it, E.
So I like it just because, 2 straight games, and he's especially in the first half, though, he's providing a spark to the running game, even if it's a screen or just a run, though. He saw that huge game, only 8 attempts, $130 2 weeks ago, and had himself a pretty good game last week with that touchdown deal. And to be honest, like you said, Gus Edwards, he's more of that like goal line back though. I think Gus Edwards gets in. I might go to the window it tomorrow, check my action, but I lean Gus Edwards anytime touchdown though, because like you said, come in the goal line situation, I think they hand it to him instead of Mitchell. Mitchell's the more explosive back, and then the Gus Edwards is the more third down back. You're muted.
Oops, sorry. Gus Edwards, anytime touchdown +110. So he is expected to get it. Like I said, he's been getting a lot of the volume inside the 20. So I do expect him to find the end zone. Any others? I know we're talking about fading potentially our boy Odell Beckham. I think it was sitting at under 28.5. The reason I kind of was leaning it, he's just ran 9 routes last week, and he just had 1 catch for 40 yards, and it was that slant where he's so good. So I don't know. I just think his output, and I don't think Lamar kind of really likes him or trusts him all that much. Maybe not like him, but I don't think he trusts him as much as he trusts his other receivers like a Mark Andrews. So I kind of was leaning under 28.5 receiving yards. Didn't get there. Maybe I will tomorrow, but I kind of was leaning that way. Any other ones you were kind of leaning towards?
Still, I was thinking of like you. I highly doubt Odell has another. He didn't have a great game, but he caught the ball and took the slant to the house. But I don't think Odell's gonna make any too much noise though. And then Bateman, his over unders at 28.5 as well. Dill, I feel like Bateman gets much more targets than Odell, and I think Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews might be a little more focused towards them. Maybe Bateman beats one-on-one coverages. Maybe he beats open. I like Bateman over. I might go to the window with it tomorrow.
All right, Elvis, thank you so much. Good luck. Let's get another winning week here in week 11. The NFL season is flying by. Let's transition to the hardwood. You got you got a couple games. By the way, I know I'm a broken record, but this in-season tournament courts are fucking awful, Elvis. It's just so bad to watch. Oh my God. I hate to be one of those old school guys but man, they're fucking ugly. I just had to let you know that. But got a back-to-back on some of these teams. Minnesota, they're on the road tonight. Will be the first game. Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal will all be playing. They are -5.5 against Minnesota, who just had a big win on the road against Golden State. 8-2 Minnesota, catching 5.5 points. You like this spot for Phoenix?
Still, first of all, I'm just excited for the fact that they're all going to play on the court for the first time.
Only took them 3 weeks.
Took them about 10 games in the season. Still, I like Minnesota plus 5.5. I just feel like they banged it out yesterday. They're gonna feel a little more team camaraderie. I feel like they're gonna play together for one another, knowing that they gotta go against that three-headed monster. And I just feel like it's their first time playing together. I think they're gonna be a little past happy, especially in the first half. Still, so you know what? They're not gonna be in rhythm. I'm gonna take the first half +3 Minnesota. Still, let's go there. Just because, remember, Minnesota 8-2. They've been hot. They're coming off that action last night in Golden State. I feel like Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, those are young guys. They're gonna go up. They're gonna come out and fire it up and show out. I expect them to play tough in the first half, and honestly, I expect them to make it a close game. I'll lean the +5.5 for the end game, but give me first half +3.
All right. Only play I really liked, kind of like the Celtics laying the 5. If I'm being quite honest with you,
it dropped to 2.5. The line as of right now is at 2.5. Let me check the lineups for you, Dill.
Yeah. So Jaylen Brown and Kristaps Porzingis is out. Never mind. On a back-to-back.
Give me the Philadelphia 76ers on the money line.
Oh, okay.
Plus 134, Dill. It's just, if you're telling me no Jaylen, no, none against the rest of the team, Holiday, Tatum, they're great, but you telling me you're gonna go in there at Philly and win this game? I think it's tough.
Yeah,
Dill.
I actually like you just said a dog. I'll give you a dog. Give me Orlando +2 on the road. I think they're the much better team. They kind of stalled out a little bit, but at home, no DeMar DeRozan. I mean, I hope he gets through whatever he's going through with his family. He's been out for a few games now, so hopefully he could come back. But Orlando coming off that loss on the road against the Nets over the yesterday, I think they come back and they beat Chicago. So I actually would take Orlando on the money line +108. How about Mavericks laying 4.5 against a bad Wizard team?
Still, I ended up taking the Mavericks -5 earlier. If it's at 4.5, even better. But I took the 5 earlier. Like you said, I'm not sure if you was with me earlier in the season, though, but I knew it from the rip. This Wizards team wasn't going to be any good at all. So give me the Dallas Mavericks -5. If you want people, take them to win by 11 plus points for plus money. And I'm gonna just rattle off the rest of my plays. I also took the under 224.5 in that Philly Boston game. I just expected it to be like a playoff atmosphere. And now without Jaylen Brown, the line moved to 223.5. So it's going towards my favor. Milwaukee taking on the Toronto Raptors. Give me Chris Middleton over 14.5 points. There's gonna be no Giannis in this game, so I expect the offense to run through, not through. Chris Middleton, but just to be a little more involved. Damian Lillard's gonna get his shots. Bobby and them gonna get their shots. But I expect Chris Middleton to be a little more, you know, involved in the offense. Probably get 18 to 20 something points. I think he goes over 14 and a half. I like that play a lot. I minus 125. Like I said, I like Philly plus 134 now without Jaylen Brown. And then I'll take you to New York Knicks on the road in Atlanta. I just feel like your Knicks team got Atlanta's number, even though Atlanta has been playing a little better as of late. I just think your New York Knicks team can sneak it out in Atlanta. Hopefully Julius Randle comes alive, though. He needs to play a little better. And that's about it, though.
Yeah, I do think the Knicks are the right side. Actually, I like RJ Barrett. He's actually played really good. I'll take him over 20 points. Julius Randle over 22.5 points. And Quentin Grimes over 9.5 points is at plus 140. For a sharpshooter like Quentin Grimes, who could hit threes in a blink of an eye, I like that as well. But Elvis, thank you. Good luck on the hardwood. I just have 3 college plays that I will rattle off for you real quick. Starting very soon, give me Nicholas State over Denver on the money line minus 110. Richmond at Boston College, give me the under 145.5. 2 very slow-paced teams, kind of high total. And then our very own, you got St. Peter's University taking on Fairleigh Dickinson at Fairleigh Dickinson and Teaneck. Give me FDU on the money line minus 104. For the boys in Jersey. That's going to do it. Any other plays or anything you got to say before we get up out of here, kid?
Nah, that's it, though. Let's just hopefully tomorrow night, finally a good Thursday night game. I think probably, honestly, the best one of the year so far. I just hope it's a great matchup. None of us took the over-under, so hopefully it's a shootout, 48-47,
Yeah. Should be a good game. If anyone is at the bank, come on over. I'm in section 510, 515, something like that. But should be a great game. Atmosphere is going to be live at the bank. But that's yeah.
My fault. Is there any special colors? Is it a blackout, purple?
It's a blackout.
Tough.
Yeah, blackout. So dress all in black. The Nike ski mask might come out tomorrow, kid. I might go crazy.
Stay safe, Dale. Stay safe.
That's going to do it for this Wednesday edition of the Dream Wager. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Elvis, myself, we'll see you guys on Saturday. We'll recap Thursday Night Football. We'll give you our best bets going into the weekend. So make sure we follow along our social media, Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you guys go follow, subscribe, rate, review. If you guys missed a podcast, no problem. You guys can find all of our podcasts wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. We go live on YouTube every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review, leave a comment. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Everyone have a great few days. Good luck on your wagers. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you guys down the road. Peace.